Oscar ceremony dominated by Best Director Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another and Best Actor Michael B. Jordan's Sinners saw a funny moment last night. We're recording this on Monday if you're listening a bit later in the week. During a speech that ran too long where the microphone retracted into the ground while the person giving the speech was still speaking. But Gerry, as we get kicked off for another edition of Low Blows, Ger and Gerry back in the hot seat as always. Gerry, what promo in wrestling history just needed the mic to disappear, just needed to vanish, stop talking, the mic is gone, we can't hear you, it's for the best, but didn't happen in this case?
I'm gonna go with my gut here and my pure hatred for all things AEW. I'm gonna say anytime Tony Khan picks up a fucking microphone, somebody should take it off him and shove her up his bollocks. That's why. That's vivid. Why. Anything, he should not be anywhere near a microphone. Just stay backstage. Just run the fucking show. Just stay there and don't touch a microphone. Don't comment on Twitter. Don't do the fucking press conferences. Don't do anything. He did something today on Twitter saying, oh, well, you know, the stipulation for a massive main event for the past weekend, it was just a gentleman's agreement. You know, it's not really binding. It's nothing. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, somebody shut him up. Just shut him up. Put him in the basement and just shut him up. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Exactly why I hate AEW. But, of course, we'll talk about that later. So don't worry.
You're setting us up well. We do have Gerry has rants to go on. We're going to be discussing how Gerry hates AEW. We've touched on it before. I think randomly when we were discussing AJ Styles' retirement, Gerry went off on a tangent about AEW. So I'm like, do you know what? Instead of sidetracking other conversations, I'm just going to give you your moment. And of course, AEW had a pay-per-view this weekend. Quite good pay-per-view. I like me some AEW. I'm hoping to go to All In later this summer as well. To answer the question, I think I'm actually going to go with a promo I did, which I still maintain was good, but the crowd did not get it. So if the microphone had just evaporated, then that would have probably been helpful for me, especially given the blowback that happened afterwards. It was when I was general manager of Fight Factory. It was Pride weekend, and I came up with a promo that, like, there was a lot of no, it didn't go that way. But I came up with a promo. It was very personal to me and circumstances in my life as well. And I kind of compared how pro wrestling is like Pride. I'm not going to get into it again because I'm going to learn the lesson that life should have taught me then and just stop talking. But the crowd did not get, like, the first line of the promo. If you read it, it'd make sense. But the first line didn't land with the crowd. So they were just like, what are you talking about? And, like, again, then you find yourself then explaining, which isn't good in a professional wrestling environment where you're like, no, well, blah, blah, blah. And you ever hear the phrase, if you're explaining, you're losing? Try doing that while you're cutting a professional wrestling promo where you're like, no, I didn't mean blah, blah, blah. The online backlash was swift and merciless. I didn't say anything offensive. I want to be clear. It was very pro-Pride. But again, just people did not get it and it didn't go well for me. So I will take, I wish the mic would have evaporated at that moment in my life. Gerry, it's been a busy few weeks and we have a lot to discuss on today's show. Yeah. We're going to obviously talk about how Gerry hates AEW. WWE not faring much better now at the moment. We are at the height of the road to WrestleMania. We are driving along, chugging along, but the petrol tank, it probably needs a bit of a refill because it's a bit of a messy Mania season going on here. There's a lot of controversy behind the scenes, a lot of confusion behind the scenes, and you know what? In the Low Blows business, especially now we have the podcast back, that just means it makes for great content. So we're going to be discussing all things Messy Mania and trying to figure out how we should feel about the road to WrestleMania as it is. Gerry, though, you, in the meantime, since we spoke, you were obviously getting ready for Dublin Comic Con, which has now happened. Yeah. We haven't had much of a chance, apart from texting back and forth a bit. We haven't had much of a chance to catch up. How did you get on? It looked amazing from the pictures you're putting up on your Instagram and the likes.
So for me, I talked to a lot of people, some of the organizers and the staff and whatnot for Dublin Comic Con, and they said it was a really good con, you know, really good guests, really, you know, great crowd, absolutely huge crowds on each day, absolutely brilliant. But for me personally, for me being a part of it, it was probably my best con that I've done. The reason being was because every single one of the guests were just absolutely fantastic, top-notch fucking guests. They were so unbelievably nice. Like, I got to finally after this was like her third or fourth attempt to get her here, and nothing, nothing bad against her. It was just simply she was busy, or she was, she was working on Broadway or wherever it may be. She's a busy woman, but we finally got Kate Mulgrew, so Captain Janeway from Star Trek Voyager, or Red if you watch Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
We finally got her to Dublin Comic Con, and I managed to wrangle a little, I think, a 6-7 minute interview with me and her in the green room of Dublin Comic Con. Now, to say this was emotional for me, I'm not even joking when I say that, and I don't mind admitting it. It was emotional for me. I did the interview. I shook her hand. I shook her husband's hand. I gave the agent a hug because I know him very well, Joey. He's really, really good guy, really amazing guy. And I walked out of that green room, and I'm not even gonna lie, I had tears in my eyes because it was that emotional for me. Because she's always been my favorite captain in Star Trek. I finally got to meet a captain from Star Trek, and it was fantastic. It really, really was. I got to spend some amazing amount of time with both Peter Claffey and Dexter Saul Ansel from Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I even told his dad, I told Dexter's dad, I was like, listen, if you don't want him, I can adopt him. That's no problem. Absolutely no problem. He was cool as a fucking cucumber. And the fact that this was his very first proper con, the very first time, his very first signing con is what he said. He's been at New York and he was in Brazil, but it's the very first time he had his own table. He had pictures. He was signing autographs and taking pictures of people. Really, really good. But you have to remember, he is 11 as well. So we said to him, like, is there anything you want to do? This is your first convention. Do you have anything you want to do? And he said, I'd like to buy some Pokemon cards. And I said, I'll tell you what. I said, why don't you come in a little bit earlier tomorrow? And we'll bring you down and we'll show you everything. And he just had the best time. He went down and bought some Pokemon cards from 2 different stalls. One of the stalls gave him a pack. So now I'm not up on the old lingo when it comes to fucking Pokemon, but this was a base set 1999 pack, which apparently was worth in the region of 300 to 500 euros. And this was gifted to him by the guy. And this Pokebundles.ie, you have to give them a shout out. Pokebundles.ie. If you collect your cards, go to these guys. They're fantastic. They gave him packs of cards and boxes and stuff that he was recording. And, he absolutely loved it. He sat on the throne, for fuck's sake. He got on the Iron Throne, and we said, we need to get him a sword. We went over and got him a long claw, and he was like, can I hold this properly? I was like, yeah, but just please don't cut yourself with it. But he was an absolute champ. Every guest that we had, the Red Dead guys, sweet Jesus, they were incredible. And what makes them even better was the fact that I got to meet them 30 seconds before we were going on stage together, because they were so busy during the day, I never got a chance to talk to them. We went on stage. They were absolute pros. We had an absolute laugh. And they even said afterwards, like, honestly, that's probably one of the best ones we've ever done. There was no pressure. There was nothing. We had a good, I think it was about 600 or 700 people in the auditorium for that one. That was the biggest crowd I've ever had. Absolutely amazing time. We had Denise Crosby from Star Trek. We had Anthony Daniels from Star Wars. Just all in all, probably one of the best cons I've ever been involved with. And I just cannot wait for the next one to come down. Like, literally, it's now over a week since we tore everything down and we moved on, and that was that. And it's still a horrible feeling knowing that it's over, because I love it that much. It's just been incredible. So I really cannot wait for August. And the guests that I know about that I can't talk about, I'm like, oh, holy shit. Okay, it's gonna be interesting. This gonna be interesting. All right, so I can't wait.
Nice. Hanging out with Targaryens, like getting Pokemon cards. That's a pretty savage way. It's so cool as well because, like, Peter Claffey and Dexter Saul Amsel, if you don't recognize names from A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the new hit Game of Thrones show that we spoke about in the last episode of the show. You do have to think, though, they're like, particularly Dexter. Peter's had a bit of a career up to now, but mainly bit parts. This is his first big role. Dexter's just famous. Like, you got him right after the series ended. He was pretty much unknown before this. So you're getting at a really good time, and obviously a very promising career ahead. So that's going to be a cool story that's going to age very well. Gerry, we're not going to give you time to rest and kind of tell stories about that, because we've got WrestleMania coming up. You go straight from Dublin Comic Con to WrestleMania season, and we have probably, I think, I tallied it up today. It's about a third of the total tickets gone for the weekend. weekend so far, and we're still a good bit out. We're still over 4 weeks out. There's only 4 matches actually confirmed for this. We are going to be announcing, and we haven't even got into kind of announcing like party plans and how it goes. We've just said there are going to be parties on Saturday and Sunday. We're going to air WrestleMania from 11 p.m. both nights live after the parties are finished. It's going to be great crack this week. Keep an eye on our socials. We are going to be announcing. By the time you hear us next, you're going to know exactly what's on Saturday and exactly what's on Sunday. It's going to be a lot of crack. We're going to have you absolutely buzzing for WrestleMania, and it's going to be great. We're also going to be having a bit of fun, WrestleMania-based fun. And Gerry, I want to get your thoughts in here as well, okay? Because we've put out, and you might have seen this, we've put out a World Cup for WrestleMania, where we're getting people to decide the best WrestleMania matches of all time. And the top matches picked will air as part of our pre-show party on the nights, on both Saturday and Sunday as well, right? Gerry, I want to get your thoughts on some of the draws. And if you guys, if you want to, like, this is for you guys to decide what matches you like most and you want to see. So if you want to vote, get onto our Instagram at #LowBlows, and just you can vote in our stories. So I'm doing about 4 matches a day in the early rounds, which would be the first round this week, second round the next week, and then we'll do a round every week up until WrestleMania. Okay, we're in the first round now. I want to get your thoughts on all of the 16 matches we've chosen. But right, Gerry, we don't have time for any analysis. This is a lightning round, okay? None of this. That's a good question.
Yeah,
And actually, that's different. None of that. I want just good instincts. We're gonna do this. Do you know that episode of Friends where it's like the game Phoebe plays with Joey, where it's like just go with your gut. I'm gonna fire
Yes.
matches at you, and you just tell me your thoughts. And what we'll do is, because we nearly had a draw this week, if there is a tiebreaker needed, your pick will decide what it is. You have the power now, Gerry. Now you're in the podcast. You're on that podcast money now, Gerry. So you've got some serious power and influence. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
16
podcast
matches we have in the first round of the WrestleMania World Cup. And we'll check back in as we get deeper into the World Cup. So, first one, Savage against Steamboat or Gunther, Drew, Sheamus, three-way.
Okay, you timed out there for a second.
I didn't
Okay,
time
I
out,
heard
Gerry.
Gunther three-way. Okay, what was the other match?
Savage against
What's
Steamboat.
the other match?
Savage against Steamboat.
Savage Steamboat. Savage Steamboat.
Okay.
Savage Steamboat.
Okay, let's hope it goes quicker than this. It's a fucking lightning round, right? Listen, turn your volume up.
Yeah.
Hogan and Warrior or Sasha and Bianca.
Hogan and Warrior.
Austin and Brett or Jericho HBK.
Austin and Bray. Fuck off,
easy,
like.
Easy one. Edge versus Mick Foley or Cody finishing the story against Roman Reigns.
Edge McFoley.
Ooh, interesting one. Savage Steamboat actually got eliminated in the first round because that vote's over, which is a shocking first round loss. Hogan against Andre or Kurt Angle against Shawn Michaels.
Oh, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, it's one of the most iconic WrestleMania moments. I love it. Controversial. Randy Savage against Ric Flair or Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens against the Usos.
Oh, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens against the Usos.
Incorrect. Savage Flair is an absolute classic, one of my all-time faves. Shawn Michaels against The Undertaker, the first match, or the Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, Becky three-way.
Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. Fucking easy.
TLC 2 or Firefly Funhouse.
TLC 2.
If those two win, it'll be Shawn Michaels against Undertaker against TLC 2 in the second round. The matches were made, draw was made at random. That's going to be an absolute killer. So one of the big matches is going out. Randy Savage against Hulk Hogan or The Undertaker versus CM Punk.
Oh, Randy and Hulk Hogan.
Okay, interesting. Bret Hart against Owen Hart or Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Batista, WrestleMania 30.
The Hearts.
Okay. Austin against The Rock or HBK versus Flair.
Oh, you cunt. Austin versus Rock.
Okay. Taker against Batista or Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair.
I'm gonna go with Becky on this one.
Yeah, go on, yeah, go on the Irish. Hulk Hogan against The Rock or Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk from last year.
Hulk Hogan, Rock.
Roddy Piper against Bret Hart or Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, where Rollins cashed in at WrestleMania 31.
Bret Hart and Roddy.
Oh, I might disagree with that. Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, the ladder match, or Triple H, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, WrestleMania 28.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Ladder match.
Okay. Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage, or The Rock versus John Cena, WrestleMania 28.
Warrior and Savage.
Okay, there we go. That's your matches. Okay, so you guys, Jerry will have the final say. You guys will have the final say. It's going to be unreal, lads. It's going to be an amazing weekend. I know it's difficult with it being a Monday. People have to get time off work if it's not a bank holiday. But trust me, treat yourself. You only get one WrestleMania a year. We're going to make it worth your while. Tickets available now at eventbrite.ie. They are selling fast and they're going to sell faster. Usually we have 4 weeks to promote an event in general. We still have 4 weeks to go and we're about over a third of the way there. So guys, get on it ASAP. Treat yourself. Go to full weekend, or you can choose individual nights if that suits you better. We'll get on to what we came to discuss today, Jerry. I'm just gonna hand the floor over to you. You notably hate AEW.
Yes.
It feels like an irrational hatred, if I'm being honest, but I
Okay.
don't want to take away. That is what is the point of having a podcast if not to air your irrational hatred of things? We are but white men. This is what we do. Jerry,
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna hand you over the floor. Coming off a really strong pay-per-view of theirs. Coming off, they just announced the pre-sale for Wembley, so a lot of people probably bought tickets to AEW today. Jerry, make the argument against AEW. What's your beef? Why do you
Okay.
hate it?
Okay. This is the thing for me about AEW, right? There is absolutely no denying the fact that they have absolutely amazing talent. And you can't deny that. I can't deny it, but they have some amazing talent. Some ex-WWE, some of their own homegrown stuff. You only have to look at someone like MJF, who is amazing on the mic, absolutely amazing on the mic. I think he's okay in the ring. I don't think he's amazing, but he's okay. He's okay in the ring, but amazing on the mic. And the man can talk. He could talk the socks off you. He really, really is. He's fantastic. But when it comes to AEW, I feel they just haven't a fucking clue what they're doing in terms of booking. It's like it's a whole company of big shows because they're heel, face, heel, face, heel, face. There's so many topsy-turvy shit going on. It's unbelievable, right? Then you have this, right? So the whole thing about this is where the best wrestle. Okay, and there's no doubt that there's absolutely great talent there, but it's an absolute fucking locker room of marks about themselves because that's all this is. That's all AEW is. It's like if you want to go to AEW, you go there. It's not about money. It's not about wrestling the best. It's about I'll go to AEW and I can be Hulk Hogan because I'm going to have creative control about whatever the fuck I want to do because that's all everyone does in the fucking company, does whatever the fuck they want to do. Tony Khan is a sniveling little fucking child who hasn't a clue what he's doing. He allows them to do whatever the fuck they want, whether it's good for them or good for him or good for the company or not. It's as simple as fucking that. I'm going to say this so many fucking times throughout this fucking promo that I'm doing right now. They have unbelievable talent there. Some of the matches, and that I might not like the company, but I will still watch some of the stuff. I'm not going to watch a pay-per-view, but I'll catch some of the stuff online. There's a guy on TikTok called Santi Zap, who I absolutely love because he just puts up little highlights of WWE, AEW, puts it up all the time. And I mean, he's literally uploading it onto TikTok while the pay-per-views are on, while Raw and SmackDown is on. So that's why I love about it. And I get to see these things. There's no denying that there's absolutely amazing talent there. There's no denying that they have probably some of the best matches in the world, like knocking the shit out of WWE. But they cannot tell a story to save their lives. They really fucking can't. They can't. They can't. And you can disagree with me all you want, but there's so much topsy-turvy shit. And there's so many things. Like exactly what I said at the start of the show tonight. Tony Khan comes out and says, "Oh well, it's the gentleman's agreement. Hangman Page could probably be champion again, but like he's that much of a professional that he won't go for the title." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You can't. Not even 24 hours after the match is over, and you're already contradicting what the actual stipulation was of the match." Now
For
I
anyone
know.
who doesn't know, what it is. Just to kind of give context, if you're not tuned in to AEW, Hangman Page wrestled the Texas Death Match against MJF for the AEW World Championship at Revolution last night. MJF won, and the stipulation was that Hangman could never challenge for the AEW World Championship again. Sorry to interrupt, just in case
Yeah, yeah,
people didn't know.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
but now they're
So
going back.
like 20, not even 24 hours later, and the stipulation's already thrown out the window. So what was the point in the match? What was the point in the stipulation? Why did you even have it in the match at all? That's why I'm saying his booking is absolute fucking bollocks. Then you have a night where I'm literally sitting, like I stay up late. I like to stay up late and watch shit, play games, the whole lot. That's what I do. I'm a night owl. I kept getting pings on my phone from an app, a wrestling app, saying this person returned. I'm like, okay, another person returned, another person returned, another person returned. How many fucking returns are you going to do on one fucking night? Exactly what I'm talking about. Tony Khan hasn't a clue what he's talking about. Hasn't a clue what he's fucking doing. Why have so many fucking returns on in one night? Stupid, stupid.
And if you look at it as well, right? I'm letting Gerry have his space. I'm not saying I necessarily agree or disagree because there's a lot of merit to what you're saying, but I might feel differently because I watch it regularly. Last night on Revolution, for example, I had this revelation as well, in that there's a lot of AEW content out there. 2 hours of Dynamite, 2 hours of Collision, and then like I watched Revolution last night. I actually watched it live in conjunction with the Oscars. It ran a bit longer, to the point that I finished watching the pay-per-view about 5 minutes before we started taping. That's when it ended. So it started before the Oscars, but anyway, no. And then you've got like these 6 hour marathon pay-per-views as well. But last night, for example, it was Edge and Christian came back. Ronda Rousey made her AEW debut, and Will Ospreay came back from injury as well. And it did occur to me, I did have the thought where I'm like, I don't need to watch the TV shows. If I want to know the big things, I just need to watch these pay-per-views. Now, the pay-per-views are difficult to get through because they're so long, especially if you want to watch them late. But to your point, they throw everything together at the same time. So you kind of are overwhelmed, but then you kind of think back at the end of it, you're like, Jesus, I fucking forgot Edge and Christian. I even remember I went over to Forbidden Door last year, and there was part of me where I was looking at videos and I was like, I fucking forgot that happened. Like, it was deadly in the moment, but I actually forgot it happened by the end,
Yeah,
which I think they see as like, look how many amazing things happen, but also the moments aren't fully landing with you because they're not special. They're just a thing that every if something happens every match, you're not retaining it. So nothing
yeah,
matters because everything matters. Do you know what I mean? I think there is a
yeah.
little bit of that. To your point, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, no, but it's not only that. It's like I look at every type of wrestling has its place in the company that you're in. Like I have always liked TNA. Not because I had the best wrestlers or the best wrestling in it, but it was interesting. Their storylines were actually you kind of got you gripped into it. I was like, I liked a lot of their stuff. No, was it all perfect? No, of course it wasn't. Is WWE perfect? No, not even now. Was it perfect while Vince McMahon was there? No. Was it perfect after Vince McMahon was gone? No, fuck no. Of course it's not perfect. But Jesus, at least they know how to tell the story. Like, fuck it, it's crazy. Now, for me, I'm not a massive fan of the flippy Will Ospreay Ricochet style wrestling. I'm not, okay? Now, I understand it has its place because a lot of people fucking love it. But when you have so much of it, like I hate a Will Ospreay match because it's just too much. It's like it looks like they're trying to kill each other, but they're barely doing anything. And I'm like, no, that's just not for me. Now, that's just my opinion. That's not your opinion. It's not a lot of people between these people are into that, right? But there's so much of it on these shows. I'm like, fuck off. Just give me a bit of fucking wrestling. Like it's supposed to be where the best wrestle. Give me a bit of fucking wrestling. Now, that Hangman, I saw a few highlights of the Hangman Page MJF match. There was some good shit in that. There really, really was. I put my hands up and say, okay, that was some good shit. Because they actually have really fucking good wrestlers over there. But it goes back to what I was saying to you. If people go to AEW, they're not going because it's an alternative. They're going because they can be a mark for themselves. They go in there and literally go in and, I'm going to do this tonight. I'm going to do that tonight. They literally choose what they want to do and Tony Khan lets them do it. And I'm like, there's no structure here. Give them a bit of fucking structure. Actually have a proper booking committee. Like the one thing I will say, and I pissed myself laughing watching. was the Hangman MJF press conference from last week. What a fucking shit show it was. It was the worst written segment of anything I've ever seen. And I'm like, this is coming from somebody who actually thinks MJF's promos are absolutely amazing.
For
This
anyone
was
who
the
hasn't
drizzling
seen it,
shit.
give us some
Oh.
context if people haven't seen it.
They did a pre-match press conference to just kind of, as you would do like for a boxing match, but they were doing it for this highly anticipated main event between MJF and Hangman Page for the AEW World Title. It's going to be a Texas Death Match, and they wanted to take pictures from the press. Sorry, not pictures. Questions from the press. It was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen. It was very clear that there weren't actually people in an audience asking questions. It was more like a voiceover thing. It was horrible. How Brian Danielson was involved in this, how he even got up there and did it with a straight face is beyond me. He's one of the best fucking wrestlers in the world, and he was involved in that shit. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's like people's legacies are being damaged, I believe, as well. It's like you look at Edge, okay? I don't even class Edge and Christian in the same thing, because Christian has been one of those guys who's kind of he left WWE, went to TNA, came back to WWE, went to AEW, and he kind of goes across paths, and that's absolutely fine. People do that, and I actually think it's better for them, better for their own career. So he's doing great. But Edge is just throwing away whatever fucking legacy he had in WWE by the absolute bollocks that they're doing with him in AEW. And I'm hoping they do something with them properly now with this tag title stuff that they're going to be getting
Example,
themselves
give
in.
me an example, because like I'm gonna say I don't feel that way. Do I feel that he matters as what I feel from watching Edge is in AEW is he's kind of getting to just have a bit of fun in his later career, and to kind of to your point, like wrestle the matches that he wants to wrestle, rather than being in the WWE machine. And I think that is part of the appeal. I don't know if I necessarily would go as hard as you as to say the lads are marks for themselves. I think the WWE machine, and I think if anyone who went to SmackDown and saw the TV show in process could see like all the direction that's going on. The wrestlers are being told where to stand, they're being told what to do. The matches, when you're watching a TV match live, it is the worst match you've ever seen, because it's not that, it's a series, it's an exhibition of moves that's happening to suit a commercial break and to come back in and this and that. It's nonsense in terms of actually that. And I think that's why people are going to AEW, because they're like, I want to wrestle again, I want to come up with a story again. I know this flies in the face of your point, but with Edge, I kind of see it as, I don't see it as damaging his legacy at all, but I don't see it as adding to his legacy. I think it's more just like when an aging band goes on a world tour, you're not going to say that the gigs were the best gigs you ever saw, but you get to say that you went to see their gig and you sang the song. And
Yeah.
people are literally doing that. Like Edge, for the first time in his career, every arena he goes to now sings Metalingus because we love it. It's an amazing theme
Yeah.
song.
And
And that's
I do
kind of what
agree.
he's doing. He's not doing
Yeah.
the best, most memorable work that people will remember him for in his career, but he's getting to do his one last tour of the world and
Yeah.
kind of just have fans
Now,
adore him.
yeah, but now he's doing it. Now he's kind of looking at, okay, I can't wrestle the way I used to. Okay, I can't. My neck is fucked, my back is fucked, every part of me is fucked. I shouldn't be doing the shit that I did earlier on in my career. So now they're going in. Him and Christian probably going to go for the tag titles. They're probably going to win them. Let's be honest. And that would be a really good feel good moment. It's like Edge and Christian are the tag team champions again. Think of it. Think of the arena when that happens. That's going to be absolutely amazing. But I'm talking about when he first came over and the
Okay.
stupid fucking shit he was doing. Nobody told him no. Nobody told him you shouldn't be doing that. You're
Are you talking
fucking
about the cage match
the
where he
cage
just
match.
like where we all knew he was going to injure himself before doing a
Yeah,
spot? Like we literally
exactly.
go, you're
This
going
is
to
a
injure
man who's
yourself, and
fucked. This is a man who had
then
reconstructive surgery on his fucking neck. There's a
yeah.
man who was told by WWE that he needed to slow down, that he was going to fucking hurt himself. Do a reduced schedule. We'll do a couple of matches a year. Don't fucking kill yourself in the shit that you're doing, and just have a good time. And he was like, no, 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 I'm going to go, and I'm going to go somewhere else because I'm going to be a mark for myself, because I still think I can wrestle the way I was when I was 20. Goes into that big fucking match, breaks his fucking leg, doing a stupid fucking spot he should have never been in the first place. And he was lucky it was just his leg. Because if it was his fucking neck or something, there's a whole family that are going to fucking miss him because he's dead or paralyzed or whatever. It's so fucking ridiculous. That's this what I'm talking about. He didn't do shit like that when he came back to WWE. There might have been one or two things, but they at least kept him as safe as possible. You know, WWE is not perfect. It's not. It's a big fucking juggernaut. It's a big corporate world, and a lot of people fucking hate it. And I get that because they've done a lot of shit. They've covered up shit, whatever. But at least, at the very fucking least, when it comes to the likes of him and Daniel Bryan, they were like, you can't wrestle the way you used to. You're going to fucking really hurt yourself. You're going to kill yourself. You're going to fucking paralyze yourself. Your kids are going to be fucked without you. And then they were like, no, I'm going to go to AEW because I can do whatever the fuck I want there. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And that's why AEW is the drizzling shits. Simple
Okay.
fucking that.
I'll throw it back to you a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
Do you think Bryan Danielson is a mark for himself? Do you think John Moxley's a mark for himself? Like, these are mature, responsible professionals, in my opinion, who just like wrestling a different way, don't want to feel like they're in a machine. And WWE at times, especially when it's not fully, when it clicks WWE for me, my favorite flavor of wrestling, and I haven't been quiet about this, is New Japan, right? I know it's struggling right now, but I like that flavor of wrestling where it's a realistic sport. There's tournaments, number one contenders are defined because they win certain things, they jump over hurdles. There's kind of the things that happen at the same time every year. It soothes my autistic brain. Like, that's the type of wrestling. That's my favorite flavor of wrestling. For high highs, when things work, like finishing the story or whatever, the moments, WWE do it better than anything else. What AEW offer, though, is a kind of wrestler led company, which I do hear a lot of the criticisms you're saying, in that again, there's so much good stuff. Like last night, you have FTR against the Young Bucks, absolutely quality tag team match, and then you got the Edge and Christian moment afterwards. You got John Moxley against Konosuke Takeshita, another incredible match that people should go out of their way to see. And then you got the main event, MJF against Hangman Page. You also got a couple of surprises, like the Don Callis family lost the AEW Trios Championship. They just won in their first effort to Jet Speed and Mystico, which was an upset. Like Okada losing a title, it just doesn't happen in AEW. So that was fun. But yeah, there's a lot of it. It's ill-disciplined, if I'd say. It does look like it's being run by someone who sees himself as in GM mode and like on a video game, and he's not got the checks and balances in place to actually go, cop on. Nobody wants this pay-per-view to be 6 hours except for you. Because you don't have anyone to go home to. Like, you know what I mean? It's like your boss who makes you stay in late in work because just so they have someone to speak to, you know? That's what AEW strikes me as at times. But I look at the likes of Bryan Danielson and John Moxley, and when you say people go there because they're marks themselves, I'm like, I definitely do not feel that way about the likes of them. Christian is another person I look at as well, who's done amazing character work since he's been there. I don't know. I feel that you're being a bit generalized.
Well, I didn't when I actually said about Christian that he wasn't. I didn't include him in that.
Okay, fair.
Edge, 100%, because he went there thinking I can do a lot more than WWE says I can do, and went in and fucking was out for 6 months or 8 months, wherever it is, because he went in and broke his leg because he did a stupid fucking spot that he should have never done in a match he should have never been in. When it comes to Daniel Bryan, it's a lesser extent to what I'm saying about Edge. So yes, he had it in his head, I can still go. Okay. So in his head and most of his body is saying, yes, you can, but your neck is telling you, no, you fucking can't. To the point where now he is pretty much fucking retired now. You know, even if he did get back in the ring, he'd probably fucking hurt himself if he did. And I hope to God, just stay the fuck out of the ring. Moxley is a very unique individual where I actually don't believe that. Moxley didn't want to be tied down by WWE. And I absolutely get that, because I get your point. It is a machine. They tell you where to stand, what to do, what to say. I absolutely get that. And he just simply didn't like being told what to do. So he went over there and he became what he should have been, what he was before WWE. And that is he's always been a good wrestler. And he always liked to be a little bit more violent, a little bit more hardcore. And he's getting to do that now. Now, I don't particularly like it. I think blood certainly has its place in wrestling. But when you go overboard, it's too much. And a lot of the shit you see with likes of him and stuff in AEW, it goes overboard because they're trying to get their own attitude era out of the guys there. And it
Mm.
sometimes works and it sometimes doesn't. And yes, AEW does have its merits. You said a lot of the good shit that happened at the pay-per-view. Yes, absolutely. Why they think Ronda Rousey is going to be good, fuck knows. Why they think you should throw all this so much stuff into one pay-per-view? I don't fucking get it. I really, really don't. Because like that, you're like you're looking at highlights. Jeez, I forgot that happened, and I was there. You
Yeah.
forgot. I was there. I forgot how it fucking happened. That's exactly it. You want people leaving, talking about every single point and what happened, and yeah. They have more matches. They have better matches. WWE. Some pay-per-views WWE do might only have 4 matches, but I guarantee you remember every fucking one of them. Every
Mm.
fucking one of them, you remember them. But if you have
It
27 matches on an AEW pay-per-view, you might remember 2 or 3, and that's the fucking end of it.
Is there an element of tribalism though to what you're saying? Is
Oh
there an
yes,
element of
yes,
I like because I remember we had a similar discussion. We couldn't really get into it, which is why I want to do a lot of time here.
yeah,
Is there an element of you're used to WWE, that's what you like, that's your flavor of wrestling, and you're just kind of being like, fuck the rest because that's not your flavor. When in truth, you can just ignore it. Like you can just I know you
yes.
you have a wrestling podcast, so you can't fully ignore it, but it's just like for me, I'm like, I'm glad all of these elements exist. And again, if there's elements of wrestling
Yeah.
that I don't like, then I can just not watch it.
You see, that's exactly it. See, it's not like I just like WWE because I don't. I like
Mm,
indie stuff.
yeah.
I especially like TNA. I think TNA is fantastic. TNA has
Mm,
always been good, even when it was bad. Like even when it was bad during the Hogan era of TNA, there was a lot of shit going on, but they pulled off a lot of really good shit during that time. Did I like Hogan getting into a ring or getting involved or doing whatever Hogan does? Fuck no, I didn't. But it was still entertaining. And I
But could you
even
not say
then,
the exact same things? Like, could you not say that TNA was guilty of the exact same things you're criticizing AEW for? Not this era of TNA because they work with WWE. So they're essentially an independent feeder promotion for WWE right
Mhm.
now. But TNA throughout its history, you could say the X Division, they just did a lot of flips. You could say it's a lot of guys like Booker T, Kurt Angle, Christian, etc., going over to be able to like get pushed where they don't get pushed in WWE. Could you not say that it like TNA the TNA era that you're referring back to, and Hogan taking it over was the worst version of it, but do you not think that it's just as guilty of the exact things you're criticizing AEW for?
No, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
When you're talking about flippy, okay, there's high flying wrestling, right, which I really and really enjoy, and then there's the stupid choreo, and it's overly choreographed shit that the likes of Will Ospreay and Ricochet do. It's far too fucking much, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Was the X Division like that back in the day? Fuck no, it wasn't. It wasn't like that. Now, was it a little bit like that? Yes. But then you had the likes of Samoa Joe getting involved. You had Anthony Daniels. You had Anthony Daniels? No, Christopher Daniels. Anthony Daniels is fucking Star Wars. You had Christopher Daniels. You had AJ Styles. Really amazing fucking wrestlers. Even to this day, they could probably still go to the same level as they did back then. It was
Hmm.
exciting. Like you see a lot of the stuff. Like there's a lot of like I loved the original announce team for TNA. Oh God, what's their names now? They were just it was so over the top announce team. They were
Mike
absolutely
Tenay and
that's it.
Don, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Don
Yeah,
West.
down west. They were like the bit where it was I think it was a six sides of steel or an X division thing, and one guy runs across the fucking cage, and in Hurricane Ran is the other guy. I'm like Jesus Christ, that's like absolutely fucking insane, but it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. A lot of TNA was amazing back then. I think it's still amazing now. Was it perfect? No. I just feel like they made less mistakes than AEW does because it's just too chaotic. Tony Khan basically he is trying to prove himself better than Vince McMahon, and I'm
Hmm.
like, why are you trying to prove that you're better than Vince McMahon? Why don't you just be the best Tony Khan? Why don't you just be the best fucking booker? Why are you trying to prove that you're better than Vince McMahon? You're never going to do it. No one's ever going to prove. Like, you look at the success that McMahon had, and he's a fucking piece of shit, horrible human being. But you only have to look at the success that he had with the money that he made, the shows that he put on, the stars that he made. Can Tony Khan really say that he's made amazing stars like Stone Cold, The Rock, The Undertaker, Triple H? No, he can't. Not even fucking close. MGF comes out and says he's a generational talent. Nobody can lace his boots. I
Yeah,
really
MJF is
no
the guy I
fuck.
immediately thought of. No, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. No, MJF is a star. Like, even turning around earlier and saying he's an all right wrestler, and you're entitled to your taste. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but like, no, I think he's a fantastic wrestler. I think he is the biggest star, the biggest original star that either company has made. Dude's in Adam Sandler movies, man. Dude's in one of the biggest movies of the year last year. And not just in like a bit part either. I know Becky Lynch and the Bellas were in it as well. So it's not as if like AW won. But again, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't necessarily have a preference. Like, he's doing movies, he's done it like without having the WWE machine behind him that's connected to like the Trump infrastructure and the like the wheels and the cogs that run America today. And he's done it through sheer talent and charisma and ability. So he has, like, and I think you fell on the name MJF for a reason, because that was probably the name that stuck out in your head, as in,
yeah.
actually, shit, that's the one guy he has made. Now, did Tony Khan make him, or did MJF make him?
MJF
I'd
made
say
him.
MJF made
MJF
MJF.
made him.
You know, but
Yeah.
like, and I don't necessarily give it. What I hear though, okay, because like, if I look back and I say, well, did TNA have embarrassing owners? Yeah, they had a whole Dixie Carter era. Do you know, they had Hulk Hogan and gave him the keys to the company for a while as well, and it got terrible quickly.
Yeah.
Is this just like, is the point that you hate Tony Khan? Is that, can I make it really simple for you? Do you just hate Tony Khan here and his vision of wrestling, and then everything else is kind of like hit with that Tony Khan stink for you? Is that just,
Okay. Oh, okay.
'cause I don't think that's unfair if
No, no,
that's the
no.
case. I'm not trying to
Let
be reductive.
let me lay this out for you, okay? If they got rid of Tony Khan tomorrow and actually announced that they have a proper booking committee with a lead writer and a team of proper writers that were actually writing a proper fucking show that we're going to start from day dot from tomorrow, I'd watch it. I'd watch it, because at least then you say to yourself, right, we now have structure. We now have structure. So I would have to judge it by that. But the fact
Okay.
is, Tony Khan is just trying to be Vince McMahon, and he's not even being a bad Vince McMahon. He's not even being the worst type of Vince McMahon, which was the fucking, say, '05 to fucking 2010.
Yeah.
He's not even being that good. And that was bad. That was
Yeah.
the drizzling shits in WWE. Like Triple H's year off. You know what I mean? That's the type of thing Vince McMahon wrote. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like absolute utter bollocks. And he's not even being that. If you gave me a proper writing committee, give me a lead writer, give me somebody who's at the head of the table with a
If
team
I
of
told you
writers.
Bryan Danielson is the new owner of AEW and Tony Khan's just going to be a money guy, are you back in straight away?
No, because you need to tell me, you need to say to me, Gerry, Bryan Danielson is going to be the head writer of AEW, and he's going to have these 4 people or these 6 people under him, and they're going to write the television and the pay-per-views from the 1st of January 2027. That I'd watch. But if
You're
you
in.
just told me
Okay.
one person is fucking in charge, fuck off.
Okay, okay.
No.
And look, I do get that. I think Tony Khan has kind of made it a little bit about him and his, and I do agree. Like, I think he has fostered this. I think it's a valid criticism. He's fostered this comparison to WWE because they can't go 2 minutes without bringing them up. You know, MJF did an interview with Chris Van Vliet the other week and spent half of it talking about, you know, I wouldn't go to, for I wouldn't take less money to have a WrestleMania moment and stuff like that as well. And it's like, they're not talking about you anymore. They don't even think about you anymore. They've outgrown you. As soon as they got Punk back, and as soon as they got Netflix back, or as soon as they got on Netflix, WWE won any war that was going on. Just, you need to just be yourself. And I think Tony Khan, in a way, is that, like, Kendall Roy is the best explanation or comparison I heard. Do you know what I mean? That fool with his money who just was born into this generational wealth and like just ran a lot of projects. But you also can't deny that there were admirable qualities to Kendall Roy as well that could have actually made him good had he succeeded Logan in succession. And there is the same can be said about Tony Khan. Like, I go to AEW shows, like I go to All In Wembley, and don't get me wrong, the setup is awful in that half the crowd can't see what's going on because they've forgotten to put up a screen. So you get stuff like that, but you also like have to be overwhelmed and go, fuck, another company has sold out Wembley. You know, I went to Forbidden Door last year in the O2 Arena and I'm like, this is undeniably impressive. The presentation, everything they have, it's undeniably impressive, and I'm glad that this company exists. But I do think there's a very valid criticism in what you're saying about Tony Khan. And again, I think a lot of people would feel the same in that he is the negative draw, but he also is making us aware that it is his toy, it's his toy box, and he gets to play with the toys how he wants, and we just get to watch, and that's that. And I can see why it puts people off, and it's a shame because there's a huge amount of good stuff happening over there right now. The thing I'd say that I am most out about AEW, and I'm still very heavily in. I watched all of Revolution within 24 hours, which is a quarter of that 24 hours, and I needed to sleep as well, so it's got a good bit of my time. But like I think the thing that I find about it is it's lost a lot of the joy that and the spontaneity that it had in an effort to be cool. It's like Tony Khan wants to be like, I brought back Ring of Honor. I own Ring of Honor. I'm gonna book Ring of Honor the way I always would have booked it. And like I'm doing a gesture like a guy playing with toy wrestlers because that's how I feel he sees the company. And it makes me miss moments like, do you remember very early days AEW? Chris Jericho and MJF had this little like skit. They were doing skits together and they were doing like fucking
Mhm.
dances and stuff like that as well. And like there were so many moments like that when it was wrestler led. If anything, now it feels strangled by Tony Khan in that it is just the product that he wants to see. He is making a product for an audience of one, but he's making it with such incredibly talented wrestlers that they manage to keep it somewhat entertaining and relevant in spite of it. So I don't disagree with you. I don't hate it by
Yeah.
any means. I can see all sides to it, but I do agree with kind of the criticism around
The-
Tony Khan. But
what I
let's not
will say
pretend
is,
like. Go ahead.
go on.
Sorry.
I just want to say one thing on this is that I just thought of who Tony Khan really is. Tony Khan is Eric Cartman if he became a billionaire and bought a wrestling company. That's exactly who he is. That's exactly who he is because he's a petulant little child that would literally say, "Screw you guys and go home." That's exactly who Tony Khan is. He just does things to suit himself. That's exactly what Eric Cartman does. Eric Cartman
Yeah.
bought a lot of fetuses so he could clone at Denny's. That's exactly Tony fucking Khan. He wants to clone WWE. That's why he's bought a lot of fucking very aging fetuses, as in ex-WWE wrestlers. That's exactly what it is. So there you go.
The 60 plus years of in-ring legacy of legends like Bryan Danielson, Edge, and like fucking John Moxley has been summed up by Gerry on this podcast. You heard that correctly, as their aging fetuses.
Yeah. Aging fetuses that are going to be cloned to make it Denny's. There you go.
Okay. Well, look, interesting point. And look, we'll revisit that as time goes on. But I want to give you your space. So, really well made. But let's not pretend like WWE has their own house in order because we are
They
in the
don't.
middle of a road to WrestleMania. And the thing you get from doing this as well, there's a lot of hysteria going around, and realistically, you got to question the source. If you're hearing the hysteria from like wrestling journalists and websites, you got to take a second because remember, it gets clicks for people to say WWE are in trouble. We had a joke on the Low Blows podcast that we ran every year. Usually it happens around September when people get into WWE is dying mode. And there was a new reason every year because that's what got clicks at a quiet time of the year. Otherwise, when the NFL will come back for wrestling journalism. So there's a lot of hysteria going around WrestleMania. But we also can't pretend that this is a vintage WrestleMania season because there is confusion in it. Like we've almost got lucky for the past few WrestleManias. Okay, you think of kind of like Low Blows came back at the time it did for a reason because wrestling was hitting a peak, maybe never before seen in terms of like worldwide exposure, money made, this, that, the other. You had, of course, Cody Rhodes finishing the story, WrestleMania 40. You had, of course, last year, John Cena winning the 17th World Championship, whatever you thought of the match, is yourself. But like there was a lot of excitement and hype around WWE. Now it just feels, now we're in kind of a year where, and I've seen this happen plenty of times before because through running low blows for so many years, we're in a messy Mania year, you know, where they don't necessarily have that piece de resistance at the top of a Cody finished the story, John Cena's last run, and they're kind of figuring it out on the fly, and it's going messily. Like just like over the past few weeks, the last time we were on this show, we spoke about how they had a ban for watch parties. I literally said on the show, I don't think this is going to go ahead because I think they're going to get put under too much pressure. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, we're sitting here and they've done a U-turn. Watch parties are back on. They've already backed down on that. One episode since I said this isn't going to happen. There's loads of confusion around the graphics and the marketing. I don't know if you saw, I put up a funny story during the week how essentially their marketing seems to change. It's changed about 4 different times for WrestleMania. And the most interesting change I found was they were doing like first off this kind of grungy WrestleMania vibe, but also do you remember them sitting at the poker table playing? But like if you look at the WrestleMania Vegas, it was kind of grey and grungy. That was the first batch of marketing, and that's still what the logo looks like because they've committed to it. But then when they released the Punk and Reigns graphic, it was very glitzy and bright blue and this and that. Then we and I was joking when I said this first, but the more I think about it, the more I'm convinced. We released our Fallout Fallout New Vegas themed poster by the amazingly talented Jay Costello, which kind of took the Vegas theme but made it a bit apocalyptic. And I wanted to just do, because we did Vegas last year, so I wanted to do something just completely, just flip it on its head and have a lot of fun with that. Like days afterwards, WWE starts changing their graphics, and all of a sudden Vegas is just decayed. It's exploding in the background. But like, this is what I'll always say. The funny thing is, I never worry when people rip me off, and the reason when people ask me, I say that I never worry is because it's like, because I had the original idea and I know why the idea works, and they're just doing the things that they see me do, but they don't understand why they're doing the things they see me do. They're just doing it. Like, we did that theme because Fallout New Vegas, and we have, like, if you look at the poster, we have Drew's wearing the little fucking I forget the name of it, but he's wearing the little Fallout thing on his wrist, and the kind of the graphic at the bottom, the with the information about the party is in the Fallout style, like kind of a computer game. WWE just have Vegas exploding in their background now for no reason. There's no logic to it. There's no theme. It's just like Vegas is exploding. Why? What's going to happen here? America's at war. What are you saying? Is it safe to go to Vegas? Like, what's going on? But it's identical in terms of color palette and a lot of the themes that we're doing in our marketing, which is crazy that basically me and Jade, who like do full-time jobs and just do this as a fun hobby on top of it, have come up with a stronger marketing vision for WrestleMania than people who are paid 6 figures or 7 figures in WWE are able to. And that is their one job. That is their one job versus our hobby. They're like, let's just do what they're doing, which very, very funny. They've managed to changed the main event completely. Originally, it was all about Drew, Cody, and Jacob, and Sammy was somehow involved. Now they've gone with Cody Orton, and they're committing to it. But again, like, kind of the appeal with that is that people are saying that Randy Orton is kind of, people will go mad for seeing Randy Orton in the main event. He's really popular these days. People kind of turning on Cody. So what did they do on SmackDown? They turned Orton heel, which isn't going to work. Like, I'm telling you now, the crowd is going to turn Orton back at WrestleMania, and they're going to turn on Cody. Like, this is not going to go the way you think it's going to go.
That's the plan.
Because we like, and I hope that's the plan. Like, I'd love if that was the plan. but I don't
100%.
feel like they mean any of it. I genuinely don't. I think they feel Cody is the man and we need to push him at the top. And like they went with vicious kind of Viper Randy Orton, Apex Predator type. And it's like, nobody wants this. What are you
No,
doing?
I
There's
feel
rumors about like
no.
Bad Bunny, like fucking Jelly Roll, Stone Cold Steve Austin. We're recording this again on Monday. It's 3/16. So they're like, Stone Cold's going to come in for a match. But like, nobody knows what any of these people are going to do. They're just celebrities because they feel like WWE are panicking. And now also, again, Cody Orton, they're saying it's going to be a Hell in a Cell match. Why? Like, why? It
That doesn't
just
make
feels
any
like
sense.
WWE are panicking to a degree because they don't have something to hang on this Mania. And it's getting a little bit messy. And again, like, people have said to me, they're like, are you worried because you're running the WrestleMania weekend and stuff like that? And I'm like, no, people like what we do. It doesn't really matter. Like, people come because they have a good night with us either way. I just think it's hella fun when this happens because we get to have a laugh with it. WWE are panicking. They're struggling a bit. Did you see today? The latest in this is they accidentally gave away the main events for Saturday and Sunday. Have
Yeah,
you
I've seen
seen
it. Yeah,
this?
yeah,
So apparently the dual marketing teams is they've got a theme for Sundays, which apparently Rhea and I noticed that Rhea and Jade Cargill that matches the marketing of Punk and Reigns. And the Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer matches the marketing of Cody and Orton.
yeah.
And then if you look on their ticket website, which again is not how they would announce this, they've actually matched the marketing up to. So it's probably just a fuck up on someone's part that they've actually said Cody Orton is Saturday, Reigns Punk is Sunday. And that's how we're learning what the main events are. It's all over the place. It's peak Messy Mania. How are you feeling about this shit show?
See, this is the thing about it. I don't necessarily look at it as a shit show. Yes, is it messy as fuck? Yes, it is. But we're getting elements of things that are going to come out of it, right? So we have our main event locked in. Okay, I thought that they had a really interesting promo last week between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. That comment he made at the end, Jesus Christ, the internet went crazy. Absolutely went fucking crazy. A lot of the actual Roman Reigns family were like, fuck you, CM Punk. Like, how dare you say something like that? I was like, come on, lads. This is all fucking scripted. You know, Roman Reigns knows exactly what's going to be said when he's out there, so it's absolutely fine. Even if he didn't, I'd imagine Punk kind of went to him beforehand
They're
and
not
went,
going
oh,
to
okay,
go
well,
wrong. Yeah.
yeah, not going to go fucking like that. We have that match set. Is that going to have some weird fucking ending? Yes, it is. Of course it is. It's not just going to be like, oh, Roman Reigns wins a title held up high. No, I think it's going to be a massive smudge ending that fucking thing. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. I think we probably could be getting heel CM Punk. We could be getting shit going on there. I think there's a lot of shit going to happen there. When it comes to Orton, and honest to God, I honestly believe this, okay? Between Orton and Cody, okay? I think in Triple H's head, he wants to replicate Bret Hart and Austin at Mania because they did the double turn. And I feel that's how it's going to go down at Mania. Cody is going to turn heel because Randy Orton's not going to be the heel for this. He's so fucking over. Not one person booed him on SmackDown. If you watch it back, not a single person booed what he did. Everybody cheered because
Confusion.
everybody's starting to boo Cody. And you
It
said yourself,
wasn't. It wasn't like no, but like it wasn't when Becky turned on Charlotte, people cheered
mm-hmm,
because they're like, "Yeah, you're doing the thing we wanted you to do."
yeah,
This wasn't that. Like even with both examples of main events, it seems desperate. Like they're like, even if that is the plan, even if what you're saying is the plan, it's weird to turn someone heel and then do a double turn in 4 weeks. It's contrived. Austin and Brett worked because Brett was slowly working towards a heel turn and Austin was slowly getting more popular and they just managed to coalesce at the same time. That's why that match worked. This is not that. This is like they've forced the heel turn that nobody wanted and then they're just going to have them double back. Like that's shit. But like even the CM Punk thing, I don't see that as like edgy. I see that. They think that CM Punk is edgy, but it's WWE riding CM Punk rather than CM Punk actually being an edge lord. And I felt that they just were like, we need something here. Here, his dad's dead. Why don't we talk? There's going to be an episode of Unreal where Michael Hayes is like, why don't we even talk about his dead dad? And it's just like, what? What? Like, what? Like, why is Punk bringing up his dead? It just
Yeah.
seems like they're panicking a bit. Will the
Yes,
end
no, they
product
are.
be good? Like,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
but I like the runway is fucking messy as fuck.
Oh, 100%. And I can't disagree with you there. Now, are we getting elements of other matches that we're going to get? Yes. And some of them look like they're going to be really good. But let's take Sami Zayn, for instance. I haven't a fucking notion what they're doing with Sami Zayn for WrestleMania. Not a clue. It's obvious that they're obviously trying to push maybe Jacob versus Drew, which
Yeah,
I'm actually pissed Drew was in the main event. I really wanted him in the main
yeah,
event. He was champion for a couple of weeks and then they took it off and just so he could give it back to
great.
Cody. He did fucking great. His promos are exceptional. He's a really good fucking wrestler. And he puts the work in. I'm like, just give him the fucking flowers and just let him go out there in the main event. He's share of fucks. The only main event that Mania he got was in front of fucking a cameraman and an announcer. And then it was against the Big Show. That was a piece of shit. It just fucking shit.
It's against Brock, not the Big Show.
No, no,
Imagine
no,
Drew
no,
McIntyre and
no.
the Big Show in the main event
Hold
of
on. No,
WrestleMania.
listen. You do know what happened after he faced Brock, yeah?
Yeah, it was
That
that
was
was
the
for
real main
sure.
event. The real main event was him versus the Big Show. That's what it was. That's all that fucking was. But this is the thing about it. Okay, they're building to other matches. So even if you're not that excited about each main event, that you cause it's a little bit messy, you've got all these other things coming out as well. And I think a lot more is going to happen this week. So between Raw and SmackDown this week, it's going to become a lot more clear. We're going to find out what's happening with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. We're going to find out about Bayley, and I'm actually specifically looking at the women here because there's so much going on with the women. We still don't have really set in matches. We've got the two main matches, which are the two women's world title matches. They're locked in. That's absolutely fine. But I want to see what's happening with the rest.
Let's not speculate about Raw
Yeah.
because we can only make ourselves sound stupid because this will be out after Raw.
I'm not. No, I'm not speculating. I'm just saying. I feel
everyone will know who is listening to this.
I'm not.
Happens.
I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to try and make predictions, anything like that. I just feel that we are now building. This is the start of the build. Now, this is where all the matches are going to become apparent, and you've got celebrities coming in. Celebrities have always been a part of WrestleMania. They've always been part of it. But you have somebody, okay, is he green as shit? Yes, he's not going to be a great wrestler, even if he did it for fucking 10 years. But I actually genuinely like Jelly Roll. I think he's quite entertaining. He has a lot of fucking heart. He has a lot of
Jerry
fucking
Roll over here.
Good old Jerry Roll, yeah. Oh, what was it Danhausen called him? What was it, jelly sandwich or jelly jam or something like that? Jelly jam. Now, that's one thing I will say is, okay, he had a horrible debut, did Danhausen, right? Absolutely horrible debut. But fuck me, has he been entertaining since he came on? I think it's been out. So I want to know where's that building? I want to know, are we going to get an actual match with Danhausen, or is he just going to be this backstage personality? I was like, no, he has to wrestle. Come on, like seriously, he has to get out.
Danhausen's WrestleMania moment will end with a backstage skit with Farouk or Ron Simmons saying, like that's going to be his WrestleMania moment.
I'd be happy with that actually.
I'm not panicking about this. I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to click in the way you do. I don't share your optimism on it. And it's mad. We're just flipping viewpoints here, okay? From the AEW discussion. I don't share your optimism of the build. I don't think WWE are going to make sense of this. But also, here's where I am a little bit optimistic. I'm not panicking about this, and let me tell you why. Do you know what WrestleMania this reminds me of, okay? And people never remember this part about it, but I'll remind you. Do you remember WrestleMania 31?
No.
WrestleMania 31 was the one with Seth Rollins cashing in at the end.
Right, okay.
Okay?
Yeah, now it's memorable again.
Do you remember who won the Royal Rumble that year? So when did Seth Rollins cash in? Who was he cashing in on? Think about it, reverse it that way.
So if we're talking about this is Seth Rollins winning his first world title, so he cashed in on Brock versus Roman. So Roman won that year, I'm assuming.
Do you remember what happened when Roman won the Rumble that year?
Yeah, The Rock had to come out to raise his fucking hand, didn't he?
Yeah, and people booed the fuck out of it. They were pissed off. It was a year after Daniel Bryan won at WrestleMania 30. Daniel Bryan was relegated to the opener wrestling and he won the Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match that year. People were fuming that WrestleMania. They were saying this is a fucking shit show. They were fuming about Sting. That was his first WrestleMania. They were saying, why is he wrestling Triple H when The Undertaker's right there? The Undertaker wrestled Bray Wyatt in a not very memorable match. Also, what, and I looked back on this and I kind of was like checking in on some of our social posts at the time and stuff like that. People were fucking fuming that Damien Sandow, or Mizdow as he was at the time, wasn't getting a central role. That's what the build to WrestleMania 31 was. We don't remember that though, because it was actually in execution one of the best WrestleManias ever. At least one of the best recent WrestleManias ever. You had that ladder match with Daniel Bryan at the start, which was really fucking good. You had Sting against Triple H, which now we remember as a great match because all the run-ins and surprises they did. We had Seth Rollins pull out the Money in the Bank cash in, and the videos and everything we have from the Woolshed that night are people going absolutely fucking insane.
Yes.
That's what this reminds me of. This is WrestleMania 31 job all over again, where the build up is an absolute shit show. But do you know what wrestling, and not just WWE, do you know what wrestling is really good at? They are really good at recognizing when they're in a shit show and going, we need to do something different. We need to
Yeah.
do something special. And I think that is why I'm not worried about this WrestleMania. But I think WWE are in a messy ass position right now. And they don't know how to get themselves out of it. Now, that what that will lead to is they will overcompensate like a motherfucker, and it's going to end up being something really fun for us to enjoy in Woolshed.
Yes.
But let's just enjoy the shit show. Let's not like go try paper over the cracks here, Gerry. Let's enjoy it. We're podcasters. We get content
Yeah.
out of this. This is a messy ass mania. I feel it's going to be okay. So don't panic. Don't be bought
Oh,
in
I'm
by,
definitely not
would they
panicking.
bring you back Vince McMahon as Triple H lost the plot? Don't fucking buy into that shit. Like, Triple H is the same cunt he's always been, whether you like him or not, right?
That's
But
true.
like, if you think he's good, he's still good. If you think he's bad, he's still bad. Like, but he's the same guy he's always been because he's just never going to change.
Yep.
This will be fine. This will be fun. If they don't have it by the time they get to it, they will panic and do something cool. Like the Sting Triple H match. They'll go, what do we do? Fuck it. Call Hogan. Call the New Age Outlaws. Call DX. Have DX versus the NWO. Let's just fucking go for it. No one's asking for it. No one expects it, but we need something cool for this match. So
Exactly.
let's just go all in. This is going to be fine, but let's enjoy the shit show. It is a shit show, is all I'm saying.
It is, but it's going to be such a fun one in the wheelchair.
Exactly. They're going to come up with something fun.
Hmm.
We're going to have a laugh. We're going to remember this fondly. But also, it's fun when WWE is a bit of a mess. That is fun because they've got to go on TV for 5, 6 hours every week. And we've got to sit through this mess and we get to enjoy them panicking and making crazy booking decisions because they're like, shit, we had John Cena last year. What do we do? So let's just enjoy it. It's the road to
Yeah.
WrestleMania. We only get one a year. And if you haven't booked already, come and watch it with us in Wilched. It's going to be great crack. Gerry, we're just about out of time. Is there anything before we wrap up you want to plug or anything you'd like to mention that you're enjoying? I know Dublin Comic Con's over, so is there anything that you're just enjoying in general? I want to give a shout out to.
I tell you what, right? So basically, I love binge watching shit, and I'm very happy with the fact you know me, I'm a big Star Trek fan. They took Star Trek off Netflix. Now I have Paramount, but it's not the same. It's not the same on Paramount. But I will say that because they took Star Trek off Netflix, they put Stargate back on, and I'm binging the shit out of it again. This is like third or fourth watch through of Stargate. Absolutely love it. We have MacGyver. Richard Dean Anderson is fucking Colonel Jack O'Neill, and I absolutely love the show. It's funny as fuck. He's brilliant. I'm just loving just binging the shit out of it, and it's great to have something like that again on Netflix. But does it like
Nice.
I'm trying to discover more and more shows, and I'm finding older shows. I haven't watched that in a while, like Lie to Me. Haven't watched that in years. I'm like, oh, I have to give that a rewatch. The Newsroom, such a good fucking show. Never finished it, so I now have to start again and watch that from the start. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of binge worthy shows lately, and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Nice. I'm binging two shows at the moment and I'm loving it as well. I never ever watched Euphoria when it was on. And
Ooh.
which is wild because it's a
Ooh.
fucking amazing. I always just thought of it as the titty show. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, yeah, but like I've still got porn, like, so that's fine. If I ever need to take that, but like, no, it's actually a fucking amazing TV show. I'm buzzing now for season three. I finished season one and the Christmas specials they did, so now I've got season two. I'm also rewatching Malcolm in the Middle from the start,
Oh,
because they have it all on Disney. We need to talk about that show more. It's very, very fun. As well, if you're going to the cinema this weekend, Project Hail Mary is officially released. Please go out of your way to watch it. It is fan fucking tastic. I saw one of the preview screens at the weekend. It is brilliant. I spoke about this before. I read the book, and please do read the book as well. It is one of my favorite books of all time. The movie does it justice. It was exactly what I
oh,
wanted it to
good,
be.
good.
And it's going to be a comfort watch. I did a full review up on Ger's Breakdown on TikTok or Instagram if you want to get my full thoughts on it. With no spoilers, obviously.
I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
Deadly. Enjoy
I'm
it.
going to
It is
watch it tomorrow. Can't
fucking
wait.
class. Let me know what you think afterwards.
Yeah,
It's very, very
100%.
good. Anyway, Gerry, always a pleasure to chat to you. I know you've got to run, so we shall wrap it up there. We will be back in a couple of weeks checking in on the Messy Mania season, with whatever else WWE has decided to done. And like, I'll be like, they literally had CM Punk come out and shoot Roman Reigns in the face, and Gerry will be like, it's all part of the storyline, man. You got to trust the process.
There is no process. They're making it up as they go along, and I love it.
Gerry, always a pleasure to check in with you. Chat to you again in 2 weeks, guys. Buy tickets on eventbrite.ie for WrestleMania weekend. It's going to be class. Keep an eye out for the announcements of what we got coming up both nights. In the meantime, he's been Gerry. I've been Ger. This has been Low Blows, and that's the bottom line because Low Blows said so.
Now go buy the fucking tickets, you nerds.